while I'm back at my camper, now that I'm finished with my mom's, one thing I wanted to do while I'm here is put a quick review on the antenna here on the Geo. It's definitely not something great. I don't think it's necessarily inferior. I don't think it's great. Don't expect a lot from it. It generally has a hard time picking up signals unless you're in the city. If you're out campgrounding, you might get a few signals. Here in Delta with a regular antenna where you can get like 10 channels really clear, it can get like maybe 2 clear. I have tried one of the 4G isolators. Now, people don't understand radio waves. There's more than just the frequencies at which, 4G is nowhere near the spectrum of UHF and VHF. However, you got harmonics. And so it helps when you're right next to a 4G signal. That's where you can get interference, even at a different band altogether. However, and the reason why I thought I might need that was because I do have the 4G repeater on here for my cell phone, which is right there, and I don't know how many watts. I think it's a 1 watt. So I didn't know if that was causing some of the interference, but it didn't help. So I went ahead and tried one of these things. I got this RCA amplifier off Amazon. It made it worse. Just having it in line, even with it off, I could only get 3 channels here at all, and that was the clearest channels. Even the ones that kind of come in and out, couldn't get it all. And when it's on, it did nothing. It literally did nothing except block out the weaker signals completely. So if you're trying to get better signal on the Geo Pro with the antenna that comes with it, an amplifier is not going to help you. More than likely, your issue is not going to be resolved with a 4G isolator, even if you've got a 4G relay antenna on your camper right there, adding nearby 4G transmission signals. So yeah, it's not a great antenna. But again, I'm not going to fault the antenna. I think it's good for what you can expect it to be. I have never tried any of these smaller antennas like you see on Amazon that are about the size of the antenna that's on this roof. So I don't know if they're actually any better, any worse, or anything. But just from my experience, you don't waste your time with an amplifier or any of that other stuff. It's not going to help you. So when I find a solution, I will let you know. But as far as making a solution with the antenna that's on this camper, what you get is what you get. I hope that helps. At least you prevent wasting your time like I did. So you don't need to waste your time with any of that. Just be happy and accept it is what it is. I honestly think what I'm going to try next, rather than trying to improve the signal of the antenna, because you can't really do anything about it, is I have seen these signal finders. And so what they do is it lights up or it beeps, and it beeps stronger as you get to hotter signal. So I think I'm going to get that. I think that would be the best. That way at least you're not screwing around trying to figure out where the best place is to point your antenna. You can get to a place and you just turn the knob until it shows it's got the hottest signal strength coming from whatever direction, and you scan for those channels from that direction. Without that, the way I have to do it is if it's an area I don't really know where the towers are, then I put the antenna facing forward on the camper, the drive position, and I scan. Does anything come up? Then I put it at 90 degrees and I scan again. Does anything come up better or worse? And I put it at 180 degrees and scan again. Does anything come up better or worse? That's time consuming, but if you don't get signal right away, you pretty much have to go around the dial until you know for sure there's just no signal where you're at. So I do think that is probably going to be the next thing I look at, is just the TV signal finders. I think that's probably really the best solution in this case, short of buying a bigger antenna that you'd have to set up. And again, I don't know how those portable antennas or the smaller antennas you can use at home that you see that have like the RCA rotator and stuff, but you might carry it with your camper because they're small enough. I don't even know if those would actually do better than this. They might be great, they might suck as bad as this. I don't have a comparison, but short of going that direction, I think the signal finder is the next best step. We'll see how that works when I get one. Another thing I changed was I used to have the Roku mounted on the side of the TV, but it would bind and really pull on these, and I think that would eventually work all this out. This is the power that I'm using for it, so I wouldn't recommend putting the Roku like that. I ended up now, I just have these cords coming to the Roku this way, and then I just stuffed them into here. But this way, when I push the TV back, it's not gonna really bind these, because before it was pulling them back. Now they just push up and out of the way. All right, so that's the only other thing I've changed with that. I've cleaned this up a little. For some reason, my Amazon Alexa's not connecting. I don't know why. I got to figure that out. So unlike out in the wilderness, there is a lot of noise here. And it could be because I don't have a balun, and I could be getting some signal through my feed line. But I'm not sure that that's actually the case. It's just really, really noisy here. Like I said, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but Wi-Fi signals get interfered all the time. Cell phone signal here is really, really bad, and the tower is literally like 500 feet away. It's just a lot. I think there's several bad transformers in the area. Who knows? That doesn't really sound like a bad transformer, but there's just all kinds of noise all over the place. So this guy's in Texas. But seriously, I'm running 5 watts. He ain't gonna hear me. If he does, it'll be amazing. I would like to upgrade to the Icon 705. I think that could be really pretty cool for this type of application. Running on solar. Well, I'm not running on solar right now, but you know what I mean. It's 10 watts. Seriously, I'm thinking about getting one of those. And this is the DYC 8X7 audio compressor. You about got it. Lima, Charlie, Sierra. You had it right the first time. Lima, Charlie, Sierra.
Okay, came back and I did hear it that time. Kilo Echo 0, Lima, Charlie, Sierra, Kilo 5, Romeo, Bravo, India. What's the top day on 20 meters today? The signals are hard to hear because of the noise, and they're up and down. So I finally got your call sign. Sorry to take so long, but I appreciate your patience.
No worries. I'm actually running portable 5 watts in Delta, Colorado. So not great, but apparently he's struggling hearing anybody. So the fact that he heard me at all at 5 watts, I think is pretty good. I think if it was an emergency situation, obviously he couldn't hear me, but you could find other people on the band. Maybe you could get out to somebody. 5 watts is pushing it. But I mean, all in all, if he could barely hear me, then it doesn't matter who I can hear. I mean, if I can't hear them, I can't work them. If they can't hear me, they can't work me. So as far as the noise level, maybe it's just really bad right now. I think a lot of that I'm dealing with is local though, but maybe it's just really bad. All right, I'm gonna see who else I can find. And we're here. Now we're going on the 2nd week. 3rd week? I don't even know anymore. Let's see. Yeah, we're starting the 3rd week. And it's getting warm enough. I wanted to point this out. I know I mentioned it a long time ago when we were in Utah at Antelope Island. That's what it was. We picked this up at Walmart. And I think this is a great little lounge chair if you've got a small camper. You know, those other lounge chair things, they just take up so much room. It's worked really well. Just don't use it on a beach or anything with sand. The mechanism doesn't like that. But as long as you don't use it in an environment like that, it works really great. It's this chair here. It was like 50 bucks or something. But I think it's pretty comfortable. It can handle quite a bit of weight, so that's not an issue. So it's durable. And it just folds up and fits in a bag. So, I mean, you can easily carry it. We carry it with all our other chairs. You saw our storage compartment underneath the camper there. We store it with all our other chairs and everything else. You could store a couple of these instead of the other kinds of chairs, but we have some of the regular, cheap canvas chairs as well. Just because we only got one like this, and we use the other ones so that we have a couple extra in case Britain's with us and stuff like that. But you get the point. It really doesn't take up that much space. So you may want to check it out if you're looking for a lounger kind of chair that you can take that doesn't take a lot of space and take it with you camping. I just got to get my beer and put it in the holder. So there's sometimes I can hear really well. Now my AC does generate some noise. That's one thing to keep in mind, and the antenna is right over the AC, so it picks it up. Here it is without the AC running.
Victoria was kind of a fun ride, just a day trip. Then they replaced it when I get
But even when the AC is not running, I will hear a lot of noise just come in and interfere. Maybe a balun or a choke or something would help in this situation where you're in a noisy environment. I usually just get fine just using the BNC like that. If it's like in a campground out in the wilderness or whatever, there's so little noise that it's not an issue. So, you know, earlier I said I just use those BNCs. I don't know, maybe I could do better in a noisy environment if I, you know, set it up right. So, but I don't have the stuff to really do that right now. I'll do it on the next trip. Now, this guy that's talking to him is in Canada somewhere. And I think he said he was in Tennessee, the guy that was louder. See what I mean? The noise just comes and goes, and it doesn't, I don't know, I don't think that sounds like a transformer. Nothing's running. My mom doesn't even have AC running. There's not ceiling fans running. There's nothing running. Everything is off in the camper right now. AC's not running. There's nothing. There's nothing, and then this horrendous noise just comes and takes over everything. And that's what it's like here. And then it'll go away, and it'll sound great. The other guy's finishing up talking. God, that's annoying. I think the guy in Canada heard me. I think he called back hearing my call sign. I don't remember the guy's call sign for Tennessee, so I didn't call it directly. But I can barely hear the guy from Canada, so I can't be sure, but I could have swore he tried to call back to me. But I could have heard that completely wrong. But you hear how this noise, it's just like, I wish I knew what created that kind of noise. And then it'll just go away. It's not a noise that I'm familiar with much in Iowa. In Iowa, we hear noises that are like transformers. You know, I mean, and I know maybe this is a transformer, but I don't think so. But, you know, just that terrible, you know, static kind of pulsing sound.
781. And we're having trouble with the finals. I don't know if they're any good or not, so I've got to get on the internet and figure out what I can find out about that part. I've replaced several components in it, and